game. Where's the game at?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another edition of the NBA One on One. Today we have a special guest in the house from the Blorange Tears family, off of the hit show Pod Couple. It is G-Man. G-Man, what's up, man? What's good? Welcome to the show.
Staffer. First and foremost, if you are in the building right now and you have not hit that like button, I need you to go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss this great content that this young man is producing. Brother, thank you for having me. I am blessed to be up here with you today. You know what I'm saying? All is good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, G-Man, as you know, we talk about the NBA, everything that's going on, trade rumors, trades, everything, containing to the NBA. So, get ready, fasten your seatbelt, cause we about to go.
Hold on, let me sit up. Okay, let's go.
we about to go. So today, people, we have a show. We're gonna go over the Western Conference, right? We're gonna go through each team from 1 to 14, and then after, we are going to talk about the great Kobe Bryant. Yesterday was the anniversary of him hitting 81 points on the Toronto Raptors, right, in 2006. So we're going to get around to that. Also, we got a lot of injury reports that's going on in the NBA. Certain players think they dirty. So, we're going to get your opinion on that. And just go around the league to see what games is going on. And, we're going to wrap it up right there. All right. So, G-Man. So,
yes, sir.
As you can see, the Phoenix Suns is on top of the Western Conference division, right? And
yes,
they are led by a young man called Devin Booker, right? And they have the veteran Chris Paul there, who was actually leading, I believe, the league in assists at his age. Tell me, where do you see this team headed down the stretch at the second half?
So, Stafford, to be honest with you, I think this year, because again, Father Time is undefeated, right? And I say that because I believe at the level that Chris Paul is performing at right now, there's a ceiling to that, right? So if he doesn't get it done this year, I give him one more year before Father Time taps him on the shoulder and say, hey, come here. Come over here, sit down on the bench next to me, and let me tell you a bedtime story, right? And thank you for your service. God bless and good night. Devin Booker is the future of this franchise, this organization. I believe that if they can get it together, they have the pieces to contend in the West. No doubt. I believe in my heart of hearts, they have the pieces to be able to contend. But being honest, if I got to be 100 with you right now, it's going to be hard for anybody to overcome that juggernaut out there. That goes.
Welcome, Anthony D.
It come trouble in the bed. Trouble off
the early morning show. Tell the people the name of your show, AD.
It's the realest morning show, old school with the Knicks, myself and Unc Freezy. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. we kick off the week. We set the pace.
Sweet.
I'm gonna tell you something, AD. I'm sorry, Stafford, but I need to tell AD this. My fingers right now, these things like this right here, because you had me overtime this morning doing this thing right here. I'm telling you, I was wearing that keyboard out. I was like, oh my God. Man, great show, brother. Great show.
Thank
So
you.
AD, so we were just discussing the Suns, and they are number one in the West right now. They're led by they're led by Devin Booker, right? Which was the 13th overall pick in 2015, right? And I just asked G-Man, where do you see this Suns team headed this season at the second half of the season? Do you think they could make a run to the finals? As G-Man said, do you think Father Time is with Chris Paul? What's your thoughts on the Suns?
I think the Suns can make another run. As long as Chris Paul is, is healthy, they definitely can make another run. Definitely. It's Chris Paul, as the audience has heard me over the last 2 years, wanting the Knicks to make that push for Chris Paul. I mean, he's just, what is he now? 36, 37 years old.
Right.
He looks phenomenal. That team was an up and coming team without him, but with him, they're just that much better. When you watch, a true floor general, able to get people in their spots, give up the ball, get the ball back, know when he needs to score. It's just a crazy pleasure watching him, do what he's been doing over these last 15 years, something to that effect.
Yeah.
So definitely they have another chance to make another run. Absolutely.
I'm asking you now, champions?
Yeah, they can win I don't know if they'll win it all. See, because I picked Milwaukee last year, and I picked Milwaukee early.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, one of my trusted basketball minds, we were going back and forth between Milwaukee and Brooklyn. And I said, well, no, I understand what Brooklyn brings to the table. Those three guys are, they're over the last 10, 12 years, they've been in the top 10 ball players, but Milwaukee had something that I liked with them. And then added to that, injuries, help play a part in that. So I don't know if I'm ready to say right now that they will be champions, but can they be champions? They were up 2-0 last year. So yeah, why not? As long as Chris Paul is healthy, why not?
G-Man, any last thoughts before we move on?
So I would say, just to kind of echo off what Anthony D said, I agree. I think that Phoenix success is going to be predicated on what the Warriors are able to do. Because I think right now, the team in the West that everyone is going to have to be gunning for is going to be that Warriors team, especially. And again, it's early on, and then Clay is just coming back, so he's got to get his footing back and figure out what's going on and where he fits into that rotation. But when I look at the Warriors team and the way they play, even when you have a Steph Curry that's out, you have a Klay Thompson that's out, somehow they figure out what they need to do to be able to win basketball games, and that's a sign of a great organization. So
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because that's the next team that's in the West, that's second place right now. They are 33-13,
yep.
Right? They're on a 1-game winning streak. As you said, G-Man, Clay is just coming back. They have a rookie stud in Kuminga, who is coming to his own.
Yep.
They have the young guy Poole, who stepped in for Klay Thompson while he was out. So they're developing those guys real good. AD, let me ask you this: as Steph broke the 3-point record, do you see him coming in as a favorite for the MVP this year? And can he take Golden State to the championship after all these injuries for the past 2 years?
Yes and yes, but to put an asterisk next to my answers, to piggyback on what you were saying, it's injuries with Golden State that you have to, watch out for. And I hate to say the wrong thing because you never want to wish injuries on anybody, but when you go to the finals so many years in a row, those are deep runs. Those are deep, deep runs, and the body's gonna break down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. There's very few dynasties that I could think of that they didn't, suffer a couple of injuries here and there, because you're talking about playing regularly, 82 games. Then you're talking about a deep run in the playoffs. What you need to do, how many wins you need to have to win the championship? 15, 16, something to that effect?
I think it's 16.
Yeah,
16.
if you don't go 7 games.
Okay, so you don't go 7 games. So you're talking, you may play up to somewhere into 97, 98 games.
Almost 100, 100 plus.
Almost 100 games. So let's just round it up and say 100 games. That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. So when Clay got hurt, I wasn't surprised, because I wasn't surprised when KD got hurt.
Right.
There's a lot of games. Steph got hurt.
Yep.
There were a lot of games for your main cogs every year in, year out, and then there has to be a new carrot that they're chasing. Mm-hmm. The first carrot was, we're gonna want to win it again. The next carrot is, okay, we got KD in here now. How are we gonna get KD his championship? The third carrot after that was, how are we gonna win back to back with KD? The fourth carrot is, how are we gonna do back to back to back with KD? And as you're chasing these things, not because you're the NBA champion, no one gives the NBA champion an extra couple of bucks in the salary slot area to get who they need.
Right.
You understand? So decisions have to be made. I'm sure if Golden State had a chance that the year that KD got hurt, they'd have made decisions differently, because KD was playing 37, 38 minutes a game.
Right.
During the regular season, which, over an 82 game period, do you really need to play KD 37? No, you don't.
No.
Look, he got hurt again here in Brooklyn. You see, with his weak lower extremities.
Right.
Same problem.
Yeah, and he's 7 feet tall.
Right.
Big men who get hurt, especially, and he's been hurt several times over, through his NBA career.
Same type of injury.
For big men who get hurt, especially when they hurt their lower extremities, it takes something from them. You know what I'm saying? They take horses out and shoot them for cracking a toenail.
Facts. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? They put them out just for that. So, it's a difficult thing when you making a deep run. I don't know who I think if I had to make a prediction, about the NBA Finals and so forth, I'm always rooting for my hometown Knicks. We don't have the firepower as of today to make that kind of run. But if I had to, I guess I would go again. I guess I would go Golden State, Milwaukee, something like that, if I really had to. So, okay. Yeah.
Well, G-Man, any closing thoughts on Golden State before we move on?
I agree with everything Anthony just said. If I had to, if you had a gun in my head right now and said, hey, I need for you to tell me who's going to be in the NBA Finals, I would also be Golden State and Milwaukee, just because of the way that the franchises are being run at this point. And, when people are able to orchestrate or minimize the amount of minutes that you play players, when guys come in, they go out, who you rest, how long you rest them, all that's important. So I agree 100%. But I see, I would like to see Phoenix excel and do great. But I think that's gonna be it's gonna be a hard sell for them to get past the Warriors if they're healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay. Well, this team has been a surprise. They have been surging from since last year. Let me just give you a little history on them. The Memphis, they were called the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Back in the day.
Yeah, they were established in 1995, right? Since then, I think they changed their name after 5 unsuccessful seasons in Vancouver and moved to Memphis. Right, and since then they had players like Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, Paul Gasol, Sharif Abdul-Rahim. I don't know if you remember him.
Vaguely.
Yeah. And so currently right now, the franchise drafted this kid. His name is John Morant. He's been tearing up the league. He won the Rookie of the Year. I believe was in 2019, 2020, right? And which was over the most coveted star, which is Zion Wilson, who's not even playing a game right now.
Right.
And Memphis at this time is 3rd, and they are 32-16. Now, I'm gonna come to you, 80. What surprises you about this Memphis team at this time of the season, and where you think their ceiling is at this time with John Morant?
I don't think anything surprises me about Memphis. John Morant is just one of those guys that when I saw him, because I didn't watch him much in college up until his last year before departing to the NBA.
Right.
And I remember I started zoning in on him, and early one morning, I was on my way to work and so forth. I was, texting, one of my basketball trusted people, and I was like, look, if I got the overall number 1, I'm taking him over Zion. And, we got into an argument. I was like, look, this guy right here, he has Westbrook's explosiveness with Chris Paul's feel for the game.
Yep.
He's not trying to score 30 a night. He can if need be, but he has a touch that if you play with him, especially as a big man, you're going to be very happy because he passes the ball, and not out of necessity, but out of this is the way you play. He's one of those, as long as Memphis, because Memphis historically, Memphis had some very good teams that they couldn't get out of their own way.
Right.
They were coached by Hollins one year. His first name is skipping me, but they went to, I think Hollins had them they won 58 games back to back. One of the years, Memphis, Zach Randolph, he gave KD the business. Where after the series, KD was calling him the best forward in the game. They had very, very good teams, and they could never, with Rudy Gay, Gasol, Zach, Conley, they had some very, very good teams. So would I be surprised if Memphis? I don't think Memphis is ready. I'm not ready for that jump as of yet. But you never know. You never know with the funniest, stranger things that has happened. But because they have a lot of young guns with, led by a young general. He probably has one of the greatest blocks that this game has ever seen when he did a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
That was just, and that's a superstar chasing down a play that if he got hurt on that play, the whole organization would have been like, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
Right? Like, what are you doing? That's how we lost Bernard King on a similar type of play, chasing Reggie Theus down, and when I saw the replay, I think it was on NBA Tonight or something. They must have showed it like 10 times. It just was crazy how high he got up, and now he kind of controlled his body and suspended in air, and it's like he was just someplace like a half a second just right there waiting for it. And then it came down. It's like, yo, this dude is, because he got his upper torso onto the backboard.
Yeah.
And he's barely 6 feet, 6'1", something like that.
Yeah, he's not a big guy.
No, so for them, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they're ready yet. Maybe next year, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. G-Man.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on Memphis?
That's good. Give me 2 seconds. That's good.
You want to look in there? I don't have any.
So AD, all right. So let me go ahead and shout out the chat.
Absolutely.
Because without them we would have no show. So shout out to Kaiser Sose, Karen Fung, T. Williams,
Karen,
Robert Parr, Canal Band Lawyer, Robert Parr, Show and M. Wilson Dang, yeah, I know Wilson. This is a show. This show is not 1-on-1 anymore. It's 1-on-2.
That's hotter.
Big up yourself.
Where's Soulfinger, if you don't mind me asking?
Soulfinger has a family issue he's dealing with right at this moment in time, so he couldn't be with us at this time. So shout out to Soulfinger number 12.
You tell me.
Handling his business with his family. He'll be on next week, definitely for sure.
So I can't go in there and find another one.
So, AD, so let's move on. By the time G-Man handles his business, the next team in line is the Jazz, right? This young man, Donovan Mitchell, has been linked to us.
Yeah.
The rumor is that he wants to go to a bigger market. And recently we have seen that his two choices may be Miami or New York. They are currently 4th in the West right now. They have made the playoffs the last 5 seasons. Do you think this is the last run with Utah for Donovan? With all these rumors that's going around right now that he wants a bigger market, he's either to Miami, and we know how Pat Riley is. He's the guy who will just throw out his rings and tell you the sun is good and you're going to be a championship team every year. And then you have our beloved Knicks, who he's linked with our assistant coach that's on the bench. And I believe his dad is some type of associate with the Mets. So where do you see Utah going? And do you think that New York has a chance of even getting Donovan?
No, they don't. Donovan Mitchell, he's linked here because of the coach and he's from the area. Donovan Mitchell is not. It's not just Donovan Mitchell, but there's rumors like this linking him to New York because it's easy and it's lazy journalism, to put them, because it's if for nothing else, our fan base, we always take the bait. Obviously, because we're discussing it right now, so we took the bait. I remember when he signed his contract, and him and Rudy, Gobert got into it, a little while after, because of when the pandemic was just about to break, and Gobert did what he did, as we remember, and he didn't he was very upset over that, and they were able to patch things up.
Right.
If something as life altering as the pandemic and what Gobert did, which at that time it was the seriousness for it was just we had no levels to understand or anything to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
That when people were just about to start just dropping off the face of the earth, if he stayed with them through that, and with Gobert through that, I don't think he's going anywhere, let alone the Knicks. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I hate those rumors. I don't feed into them anymore. For the guys who puts that in there, the Knicks are they're putting their chest together. They're waiting to pounce on they're waiting to pounce on a disgruntled superstar to make their okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
As far as Utah, since I was in junior high school, Utah has always been in the playoffs.
Right.
I can remember maybe 2 or 3 years. I can remember maybe 2, and even before Stockton and Malone. That organization, they've been in the playoff, maybe 27 out of 30 years?
Easily. Yeah, that's an excellent.
Always been in the playoffs.
Was that before Jerry Sloan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So G-Man, let me ask you this. Dwayne Wade is there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the name, what's the name of this cat again? The former Celtics GM. Oh my God, what's his name?
Ainge.
Danny Ainge is there. He is the CEO of operations over there.
Okay.
Do you see any of those two guys as a big influence to Donovan staying?
I would say that if there was a catalyst to having Donovan leave that team, it would be surrounded. It would be within the confines of Donovan feeling like the front office is not doing their job as far as bringing in talent and to be able to prop that roster up. I mean, other than that, and historically speaking, to AD's point, Utah has not done a bad job at managing the roster, right? They're a good organization as far as talent management goes, because what position? I'm not sure what position was Donovan drafted when he was drafted.
I believe he was taken as shooting guard because I think he's 6'3", I believe.
Okay, so and I would love to have a Donovan Mitchell playing for the Knicks or a Donovan Mitchell type, absolutely. But we just the ball don't bounce that way for us. That those little ping pong balls that go up and down that little chute, we don't get those in the lottery. But I think that you got smart basketball people in their organization that know what they have on their roster right now. And with a D Wade, who is a former player, so he understands, the concept with, having the right head coach in there to be able to talk to the players, have those tough conversations. And even though Danny Ainge did not do what he was supposed to do when he was in with the Boston Celtics organization, hopefully he learned from that. And, he knows not to make those same mistakes. But I think, again, Utah is smart enough to know if he is, if he's not. And they're not going to stand for it. But I think Donovan's going to be there for the long haul, to be honest with you. And I think that Utah is smart enough to know that that's a personality that they can build around to make their organization successful.
So let me ask both of y'all, and we're going to move on. Is Miami a threat?
To who?
Yes.
To getting Donovan? 80 said yes.
Again, I don't think so. I think that again,
we will go with that. We will go with that. That's a no for you.
Unless Utah does something just out of bounds and whatever the case may be, I think he's there for the long haul. Because in my mind, I believe that Utah is telling him, hey, you are that guy. We're gonna build around. We'll get you whatever you need. So you got the keys to the city at this point.
Yeah, they just don't. I only remember them making 2 trades of any significance in their history. Yeah, they just don't. They just don't let guys go just because guys are upset.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Deron Williams was the only one they let go, and at the time it was because him and Sloan weren't getting along. But they traded him, then they fired Sloan.
Right.
So I think I look at it from this point, AD, more so than them letting guys go. I think I'm looking at guys that's looking at their organization and saying, I would love to go play for Donovan. Can you get me in your squad? I look at it from that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So moving on. This team is Dallas Mavericks. They've been up and down. They just hired a new coach. Well, he's not necessarily a new coach, but he's been in the league for a long time. But is their new coach after firing Rick Carlisle, which is Jason Kidd. Right now, they currently sit at 5th in the Western Conference of 26-20. They have a young stud in Luka. I believe Porzingis is, to me, in my opinion, is very injured prone. He's in and out of the lineup for this for this season so far. They got Reggie Bullock. They got Frank Ntilikina, out former Knicks players.
Yeah.
This team is very inconsistent. Where do you see this team, G-Man? Because I can't put my finger on this team.
I call the Mavericks the Knicks South team. That's how I look at them, because every time someone leaves, and don't get it twisted, right? I believe that James Dolan and the owner of the Mavericks, they got each other on speed dial. They're probably texting each other right now, because when somebody got a bad contract, I call AD and say, "Hey, AD, check this out. I got this kid right here. I think he ain't all that right now, but I'm in a contract bind, and if you could see your way clear to help me out in this situation, I'll be willing to take a bad contract from you in the next 36 months. You know what I'm saying? If you get yourself in a situation." And I think that's kind of what's going on, because there is no way you can tell me that the Mavericks were clamoring to go get a Frank Ntilikina. Come on, man. Stop it. That just doesn't happen. Not in this life. I think that with the Mavericks, as soon as they get serious about their roster, they will be a contender. Right now, they have pieces that they can potentially be a contender. But to your point, when you talk about a Porzingis, he's in one day and out the next, so you can't really count on that. You got Luka, that he's the face of the franchise right now, and this is where the Mavericks have to be very careful. If you don't show Luka that you're willing to do whatever needs to be done to make them successful, he's gonna be looking at his next team, and then they're gonna have to figure out what to do about a superstar.
Okay, what's your thoughts, AD?
To piggyback on G-Man's point, if that's what it is, where it's our turn to catch a favor, whatever they want for Luka.
Yeah, for facts.
Whatever you want, whatever future maneuvers you need, whatever, Dolan's ugly daughter wants to marry his handsome son. Whatever you need to get it done. If we're looking at if we're gonna go by G-Man's analogy, absolutely, because Luka he's one of those players that when he came out in the draft, and when Dallas and Atlanta made that swap,
for Trae Young.
It's for Trae Young. It's very few times in league history where both teams, can say, I'm happy with what I got.
Yeah, facts.
because Trey Young was just a monster coming out and something. And I was just hoping that he would just, I wanted the Knicks to go up there to make something happen for Trey Young in that draft. I just it was that draft where you just felt like the top tier of the draft is where you needed to be. Not so much as Aiden, because I thought Aiden was a stiff coming out. Mm-hmm. I know he repaired himself, over the last year or so, whatever. I'm still not a major fan of Aiden, but to be in that conversation to where you're gonna get Trey or Luka and those two teams are able to pull it off. I mean, Luka is just, Lord have mercy. If he ever takes his conditioning seriously, and that's what he lacks. That's what he lacks here, because he's a couple of burgers and some fries, eating himself, from being a Zion type of thing. Because I look at him, I'm like, dude, you could one day be in the Mount Rushmore conversation because he has that type of talent. He walking triple double. Not the greatest 3-point shooter, but get him hot and he'll throw 3 or 4 in a row. Look at his numbers after the game. His usage, he's just one of those players. But Dallas is not. I don't look at that. When the funk hits the fan, all the people get with me.
Welcome, Soul Finger. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, brothers? Hey, shout out to G-Man and Anthony D. He's so smooth, he don't need not a Nan chaser with the gold watch. Appreciate you stepping in and getting with my man Stafford Dunn. Hey, I just had to pop my head in. I had a few TikToks, so I said, let me get in while I can, while I'm trying to get everything adjusted over here. Again, I couldn't really get in today because the schedule change on my part. Got daughter got a game and I got to be there. Since she's got that going, I had to be there. So but I asked the time, so I can't leave my one-on-one partner hanging too long. So I just got to get in where I try to fit in. But hey, I thank y'all, brethren, to get on up in here.
Facts. So let me throw it right at you, Soul Finger. If the Mavs decide to bring in a third star to help them emerge, do you see them as a legitimate threat for the title?
As they're currently constructed now, no.
You can't elaborate a little bit?
I was listening to it. You got what you were putting out, and you got to look at the Utahs. Like AD said, as far as I can remember, man, Utah been making the playoffs since Moby Dick was a sardine, bro. So they've always been a sign of consistency. You got Golden State, even with the injuries they got right now, they still that team. Phoenix, man. I mean, what more can you say about Phoenix? Phoenix is they the top dog in the West right now. And it can only get better with them. They have what a lot of teams don't have in a consummate floor general and Chris Paul, who dissects teams and how they're currently constructed. Even you don't need Chris Paul to go out there and drop 30 a night. You need him to start. You need Chris Paul to stop moving, getting cats in the right position and getting them the proper assists. Dallas still needs some work. They got, like I said, pieces. You could bring in a third player, but those pieces got to gel and vibe, and I don't see that with the team.
full house today. Welcome to the show, Rob. How you doing, man?
I'm good. You see that book?
I see you. Blood in the garden. Blood in the garden.
That's right.
All right.
What's good?
All right.
Big Pam? Sarge,
What's
AD,
good, man? What's good?
Soul,
So,
and
What's going on now? OG.
Ain't nothing. Chilling.
so let's get back to the conversation. G man, I'm gonna throw the same question to you. If the Dallas was to get a third legitimate star, do you see them as a threat to the title?
No, because people kind of throw that title star out there kind of genuinely these days, and if you have a good season, then you could be a star, right? So depending on who it is and how they come in, but I don't think that the Mavericks right now are set up to be one piece away from being a actual title contender. They're gonna have to do some building. So my answer would be no at this point now.
80?
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see it for Dallas this year. No, I don't see it. Because when one thing we have to understand is like no one wants to give you a piece for you to be better off than they are.
Right.
Without you giving up, some of your future or something that's some of your future and something on your team. So let's say that piece is Ben Simmons. Philly's not going to just give them Ben Simmons just because they would like to see Dallas in the finals. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be something, substantial. You're going to have to start with Hardaway Jr., couple of picks here, or Brunson or something to that effect. And then even if you were to pull that maneuver, those three together doesn't mean because they're three big names mean that they're going to play well together, because one of them is often injured.
Right. That part.
So not Dallas this year. I don't think this year is for Dallas this year. No.
What about you, Rob? What do you think about Dallas Mavericks at this time? They're currently 5th in the Western Conference at 26-20. Porzingis is often injured. If they was to add a star, do you see them as a threat to the title?
No way. Just because of what AD said. You got the second star often injured, and that's going to always be a problem. That's why the Lakers record look like the Lakers record, because they have a star that's often injured. You'll never win with an often injured player.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, it's Denver. Now they are 6th in the league. They are 23-21, coached by Mike Malone. Now they have a all-star MVP of the league last year. His name is Jokic. Now let me give you a little history of Jokic for the past 4 straight games. For the past 4 straight games, Jokic has 4 triple doubles, right, on 55% shooting. Second longest streak all time between Wilt, who had a 6-game run in 1968. He is the first center with 4 triple doubles since Wilt in 1968. Right? They have a star in Jamal Murray, who is injured. He is soon be back. They have the young man Gordon that they got from Orlando. Soulfinger. With those numbers that you heard me say with Jokic, and he's one of those prolific centers, do you see Jokic taking the Denver Nuggets to the next level?
He got some good numbers. I can't even lie about that. His numbers are on point, but You know, that was pretty much what he was doing last season. You see, he couldn't do it by himself. He needs help. You know, he's an anomaly because you look at him, man. He's built like his name should be Willie Lunchmeat, and the way he moves on that court and the things that he does is ridiculous, man. But he needs more help. You know, you got Murray who's still down. You know, and you know, they did bring in what's his name from Orlando? What's my man? Gordon, yeah, they got Gordon, but they need some more. He needs more help. If you gave him another player and Murray was healthy, and I think increase a little bit more on the depth, then we could talk about them knocking on the door. But he can't do it solo. He needs help.
AD?
I couldn't wait till you get to Denver and Jokic. Jokic is just phenomenal.
Yo, Freezy. Yo, I love your intro. I'm like, who is that? Yo, that was so funny.
was good, man. So for one, I was listening to the show while y'all was rocking. I was like, yo, wait a minute. This dude legit got G-Man and Anthony D on the panel at the same time, which is something that rarely happens. Rarely. And so Stafford ain't even hit me like, yo, you want to jump on, man? And you just want to run? Stafford, you are a mad, selfish dude. Stafford, you are selfish. Skullfinger, hey, Rob the knowledgeable pig is in the building. What's good, y'all?
Was good. Good to see you doing better, huh?
No, man, no, I'm still, man. Yo, you ever seen an orange slice fly at 100 miles per hour, bro? I was trying to eat one the other day, man. It hit my stomach sideways so bad, bro. It was crazy. So I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to get better. But the fact that Stafford Don gonna try to put together an all-star panel behind our back, bro, was good. He's slick now. He's slick.
Hey, what can I say, man?
He's slick, and how so it happened. Like one at a time, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta find the intros. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to eat something. It done put me to sleep like a little baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was in there trying to fight sleep off. And man, look, I had to jump on here and get with this, man. Hey man, I love y'all brothers, man. Y'all doing good, bro.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So AD, you was talking about Denver and Jokic.
Jokic, as I was saying, man, Jokic is just there's not enough bouquets of flowers that can throw that man's way. Mm-hmm. He's a phenomenal piece. He's what every coach desires to have on their team. When I watched him last year in the finals last year and how non-point guards can run, you can run the offense through someone who's a non-guard. He's the poster child from that. Jokic is not fast. Jokic don't jump high. You know, he'll lull you to sleep with what he looks, but just at the point of attack in anything that he's involved in, and when he's not even involved, all of a sudden he can make himself involved.
Yeah. You
know, and he's the kind of player that any basketball player would want to play with. I'm Denver. I sit tight. I get Murray back healthy. I get Porter back healthy. If this season is a wash, then this season is a wash. But there is no way, no how that I don't come back next year reloading the tools with that big man. because I heard someone, trying to compare Embiid with him one day. I was like, are you crazy? Like, they're not even in the same category. This young man right here is, before it's all said and done, he's going to be looked as one of the great centers who's ever played this game.
Right.
So I don't see it this year for Denver, but when you have a cog like that on your team, you're gonna knock on the door at some point.
Hey, Stafford, you mind if I answer your question the way
Yeah,
you
go
asked?
ahead. Go ahead. I was saying going to you next and then pass it on to Rob.
Well, yeah, we'll stay in order then.
So we're talking about Jokic and Denver. Jokic has 4 triple doubles in the past 4 games on 55% shooting, the second longest all-time streak behind Wilt, who had a 6-game run in 1968. He is the first center with 4 triple doubles since Wilt in 1968. And I was saying that they have Gordon. Jamal Murray is injured. The other young man who got drafted, he has a back injury. Do you see Jokic taking this team to the next level with these numbers?
That's interesting. I don't know what to say about the connection between the numbers and generations, because Jokic clearly is playing better ball with less talent, but at the same time, Wilt's numbers was against better competition because the league was smaller. You feel me? So while the league is bigger and dudes are more athletic and all these different things, you have to take into account that Wilt still on a night-to-night basis faced the best that every team had to offer because but anyway, I don't want to call Jokic Wilt and do that comparison just yet. But what I will say is it impressive for one of today's athletes to do it is very, very, very impressive. Right? To a point that you made, a question that you asked earlier though, about if Dallas was to add another star to their team, I think AD touched on it a little bit. But bro, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Any team that puts together 3 superstars on a roster has a shot at any championship in any year. Does that mean that they'll win it? I can't guarantee that. Rob, OG, what you think? Am I off my rocker by saying that any team with 3 superstars on it in any generation has a shot at a title?
Most definitely, you're right. But 3 functioning superstars,
right? And they prime, right?
But Porzingis is the odd man out because he doesn't stay healthy. So that's why we had to speak to that point too. Because in Dallas's situation, he will technically derail your championship aspirations due to health and nutrition.
Right. You're right. I feel you. I feel you.
But when healthy, you're right. You're right. 100%. When healthy.
Right. And Stafford, it was a great question. The way that you phrased it, it almost felt like such a sweet question that I felt like, in fairness to it, that, I'm saying, I felt like, we probably have to build on that because it's not an easy question to answer, but at the same time, you got to answer it because it would do a disservice to such a good question. Can 3 stars put together on any team take a shot at a championship? And off surface, you would say, well, if putting stars together was easy, then everybody would do it, right? But that wasn't the question. The question was putting stars together. Can they contend for a title? And so what I would say to that question with Dallas if Dallas was to get them a star or two to go with Porzingis and Luka, say I think AD mentioned Ben Simmons, or
I think he did. Yeah, he mentioned Ben Simmons.
Or say for instance, my man said, say if they were to get say a Damian Lillard and say somebody else to go with that talent, a roster with Damian Lillard, Porzingis, Luka, and maybe another young Julius Randle. Yes, they would contend for a championship and immediately out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And might make a run at 70 wins if all of them stay healthy.
Wow.
So health
what
is
do
a
you
big.
think?
I think health is a big play because you can even like look at Brooklyn.
Right.
They are not. They will be a whole different team if Kyrie would stay healthy.
Right.
Right. That we'll give them automatically the bid to win the championship, win healthy. But sometimes health is the biggest issue versus talent. Can you stay healthy?
Yep.
And every NBA team is seeing that the health is important. You can have like a second tier all-star win healthy because he's gonna stay healthy. So when he's facing matchups to the best, he'll be there, but the best won't. And that will cause a problem. But with Denver, you know what? This is what I feel about Jokic. Jokic make me mad. And let me
Why
tell
you
you
say
why.
that?
Let me tell you why. When you look at him, he's the equivalent to what basketball knowledge is versus athleticism. He has basketball knowledge. And you can't teach athleticism, you have to have it. But the knowledge of the game is what Jokic shows. And then it looks like while he's doing it, he doesn't even have to work out. Because he's that smart on the court. I love him to death. I love his game.
Right.
But he makes you mad that everybody can go work, get up 5 o'clock in the morning and do everything that he already got built in his head.
Right.
And it makes him, and it took a coach to recognize that and say, yo, you're going to run this. And they allowed him to be him. And everybody else, point guard included, plays off of him. That's incredible.
Right.
That's incredible. That's pretty much like he deserves to get a championship ring, not just to play, participate, everything, because he gives everything to the game. They said, look, lose 40 pounds. Guess what he does? He lose 40 pounds, but the basketball intellect is a big man with the Larry Bird intellect of basketball. And that is crucial. He moves at his own speed. And it doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to. So when you think that quickness, deception, and this here, deception is the most beautiful part of basketball because you don't have to move fast, but you can still cross over somebody.
Right.
And what Jokic does is like, every time I get a chance to watch Denver, I just watch him just because of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, when the game changed from the 90s to the new millennium, is like, whatever your skill set is, it fits in an arena. You don't have to go down there to the post. The game is more beautiful now just because you got Jokic in it and people like him. At every position, you got LeBron doing different things. Basketball looks so different, and you just can't wait to see how much more beautiful it's going to go. Because you remember Freezy back in the day, what they used to say about basketball in the commercial, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing the beauty in the game because of players like Jokic.
Right.
And Dirk and all that. Bill Laimbeer was the first Dirk. Dirk was the hybrid's Bill Laimbeer. He just stretched it a little bit more further. And with
your Jack Sigma.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And look, and what the Joker is doing, it's a whole nother level. It will be good to be alive to see what comes after him. That the hybrid that comes after him. It's gonna be something sick. Because on the AAU circuit and everything going down with basketball, look, everything is changing. Right. Everything is changing. The style of play is changing. And everybody have to adapt to what the new style of play is going to be. You know, look, in this book that I just got, I just read a couple pages in it, but they said that the New York Knicks was the reason why the league is right. The league is what it is right now as far as offense is concerned, because they took the defense to another level in the 90s.
Nick, I mean, Rob, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. All right. Okay. NBA 101. Trying to, Freezy and all the other creative contents is all about the Knicks. So, you know what I mean? We try to talk about the Knicks. It's very minimal on this.
I'll give it its fair share, but not,
But respect though. I know.
I'm done. Hey, look, that was my only shot. We can talk about it.
So, but what he said about Jokic though is what he said about Jokic is poignant though, about the evolution of the big man. Yeah. And it's not a physical evolution; it's a skill evolution of the big man. Because Jokic don't look like a Joel Embiid. He don't even look like a Mitchell Robinson, to be honest with you. He just looked like a random dude, just got up out the bed and went to go play basketball, right? But his skill set is so diverse and so on point that you might see an emergence of the big man come back if other teams can take advantage of Jokic's passing and passing people open and passing through windows. You know what I'm saying? Like, because one thing being able to pass the basketball is anything everybody can do it. Mitch can do it. Mitch do a dribble handoff, right? But Jokic can pass that basketball through traffic,
through a keyhole.
To people making cuts, and they know how to cut because of the way the defense play them. But Soulfinger, hey, I appreciate you letting us dig in on that, bro. Because that question that you mentioned, if you put some stars together, can they contend? I would say not only but hell yeah. And so even for say teams like ours, if we were ever to put 3 stars in a prime together at the same time, yes, we could contend for a championship too.
I just wanted to jump on that, add a little bit on to the Joker, because I like the Joker. Joker's one of my favorite players to watch. The simple fact, I just want to see what pass his man's gonna make. Because to me, it amazes me after watching basketball for so long to see somebody that size, the way he built and everything. He doesn't speed the game up. The game speeds up, but for some reason it slows down for him. Yep. He's on the court. Teams that like to run wind up playing his speed. He never plays your speed. You play his speed. But the fact that he has, how we were just talking about Phoenix and Chris Paul being to have that vision and to be the floor general. Mm-hmm. Well, really, that's what Joker is for Denver. He's their floor general, just at the center position. His vision, his court awareness, his IQ is phenomenal. To see a big man be able to do the things he does. He probably has a credit card leak. You look at him, he's not the most athletic built or whatever, but he's an unstoppable force. So when you get to see he and Embiid go at it, it's a thing of beauty because, like you said, they could be the reemergence of the big man because, the NBA's gotten away from that big man, but they're a big man who could they have certain skill sets that we haven't seen before in those kind of big bodies. I think the closest, and I could be, and AD, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm making this comparison, was Sabonis. Not the son, but the father, the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Probably
Arvidas.
the closest, but he was really athletic with it. He just got to the league at an older age and had injuries.
Yeah.
But his passing and his court awareness was monstrous, man.
Yep.
But Sabonis was just athletically superior to him.
Yeah.
Sabonis was his athleticism was just totally just off the charts as far as what a big man was back then. And even now, he would definitely be a more of an athlete to Joker, But the thing is, the European big versus the American big, and I hate saying it, but more times than not, you will see it. It's not a competition because it's certain skill sets.
What about international big? What about international
or
big?
even international? Yeah, even international big.
Yeah.
They don't play like one. They don't want their big to do one thing. Like Mitchell Robinson is pick and dive, and offensively pick and dive. That's not what international big men do. International big men, you gotta be able to do a little of everything, and not that all of them. I'm talking about the creme of the creme, like the tops of their international big men. If you watch them when they come over here, fundamental basketball, they got all of that. You know what I'm saying? Joker can pass you open. Joker can lead. The other night, I was watching him the other night when he went crazy. It was a 2-on-1 fast break. He must have passed the ball like 4 times. They must have back and forth to one another, where he finally gave it up, and the player scores in the wing. No one didn't stop and run to the 3-point corner for a 3-point shot. No, you just played 2-on-1 and you took the easiest route to that basket, which was, I'm 5 feet away from the hoop. You know what I'm saying? That's fundamental basketball. So a lot of times you don't see the American big, with that. You see what I'm saying? It's the international big that comes in that have those parts of their games, and the Gasols, both Gasols.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan, Joker. It goes on.
When you say Tim Duncan, you can't put him right there with that, because his skill set got polished at Wake Forest.
Right.
Right.
He was a great athlete turned fundamental player in college. Right, because Tim Duncan used to be a swimmer, remember?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Jokic, wonderful player, MVP last year in the league. Let's see what Denver can do this year, with those numbers that he's posted. So the next team on the Western Conference is the Lakers. But before I get into the Lakers, I want everybody to smash that like button, subscribe to the
channel. Smash up the likes.
If you want to be a Blorange Tears member, go to the community section, press join, and become a Blorange Tears member. We would like you to become a member, get all the special perks, special videos, everything that comes with being a member. So smash that like button, and remember, tune into all of Blorange Tears family shows, Knicks Freestyle, Pod Couple, G-Man. You have help me out, Soulfinger. You got
we can let the commercial
Knicks
run
Morning Drive.
So you got the KMD.
Yeah, Knicks Morning Drive. Don't forget our man Cully. There you go.
Yeah,
Beans with the live. So tune into all these Blorange Tears shows. Trust me, you wouldn't be disappointed. So let's talk about the Lakers.
But look, how you going? Look, did you even do the defending champs on the East?
We did the East 2 weeks ago, Rob. You're on the West. You're on the West.
Oh, you're on the West. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
So the Lakers, right now, they are 7th in the Western Conference. They are 22-23. through 45 games. They are 1-4 in the last 5 games. AD has missed a month with a sprained MCL. Tonight, he's a game decision for the Heat. Also, they're in the trade market to get rid of THT, right? And one of the rumors is they want to give up him and a first-round pick for Jeremy Grant. And one of their best assets is a 2027 first-round pick. And also, too, they had the recent benching of Westbrook. And then we hear another rumor that they may be interested in swapping Westbrook for John Wall. So out of all these things I just said, I'm going to throw the question to you, G-Man. What do you think of the Lakers season right now? You're on mute.
So the Lakers are in the same boat that the New York Knicks are in right now. They're not healthy. They're waiting for somebody to come back to bail them out. Right now, I'm looking up the stats right now. They're 23-23. They're right at 500. So if the playoffs were to start right now, the Lakers would be in the play-in. They would not be in the playoffs. So what they need to do right now is figure out, first of all, how to get their people healthy. And, you know, it's easy for people to come out and say, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But the performance on the court is what gets you over. Right now, there's a lot of strife going on when you start hearing about these trade rumors. They're not coming from, you know, just obscure places. And people are very specific about these trade rumors. When you call people out specifically like a Westbrook, and you say that, you know, trading for Westbrook was a mistake. We need to go over here and do this, that, and the third, right? And that becomes personal for people. Because this dude done uprooted his whole existence and moved to the Lakers because he thought that was the next thing coming. So as far as the Lakers go, I would say this. I would say that it was a good idea. Experiment's not working. Get over it and start your rebuild now.
Okay. Soul Finger, the Lakers.
Well, Stafford, you already know. You and I talked briefly this morning about that, how I was going in. My take on the whole situation is, yeah, they're in a situation like we have. Their front office did well. I'm not going to say they're in the same situation we're in, because I had to give, in some aspects, I got to give our front office a step up on that for not making that move. The whole thing, they put a team together to get better, and they went after a whole bunch of old names. They went after names that were superstars in their prime. And you gave up a lot of talent to get. The Lakers had a chance to make a move and get Buddy Hield because they needed shooting. They don't have shooting. You had a chance to get Buddy Hield. You went after Westbrook. You gave up what's his name that's in Chicago now? The two guard come off the bench.
Caruso.
Plays good. Caruso, good role player. You traded a lot of assets. You brought in Melo, who comes off the bench. AD is their AD, not Mr. Glass. That AD, not our AD. So smooth, he don't need a chaser.
Yeah.
He's always hurt. That's Mr. Glass. They're in a bad situation because you also, if I'm not mistaken, they're giving up a lot of their draft picks. So
yeah,
the Lakers will be lucky to maintain that play in at the rate they're going. And you got, like I said, we could talk about all the things that's going on. Even you seen it on the news. It's seen it it's online. And I was looking this morning. Shaq talking to him, telling him he need to slow down. I'm not gonna use the colorful adjective he told him, but he's telling Westbrook you need to slow down. It was a bad fit, bad mix putting him in that team on that, bringing him in. Yeah. So their front office dropped. They didn't drop. They just deflated the ball. They didn't drop that joker. They deflated it. So Lakers in a world of trouble. I honestly, truly believe that.
Okay.
Freezy.
Yo.
G-Man is the one that went off. Okay. Give me your thoughts on the Lakers. Then I'm gonna swing it to AD, and then we're gonna swing it to Rob.
Okay. Yeah, they in trouble, bro. They are in the classic case scenario that the Knicks used to be in every season. You remember how we used to have a whole bunch of washed up stars, and all the stars would be pointing a finger at each other. Meanwhile, two of them would be hurt. You remember, and so, and not to make this Knicks centric, but a team with aging stars, all in decline, all of them injured, right? Forget that they are aging stars, but then they could just recite. They could just reload and come back one more time for one last run. Well, the league is not built on aging stars, bro. The league is built on young stars, bro. Young bouncy dudes. Yeah, you remember the Kobe Bryant watching? I watched Kobe Bryant watch LeBron dunk, right? And Kobe Bryant was like, wow. Right? Kobe was like, wow, man, this dude, he like a center, and he fastening everybody and dunking like that. Yeah, bro, that's the new wave right there, Kobe. You ain't winning no more championships because this dude that you are amazed with right now is the new wave. So if you LeBron and you watching dudes like Zion, Ja Morant, dudes like this come through and do certain things, your time is past. If it amazes you and you're a star, then you know that your time at the top is not going to be long. And it happens to everybody, bro. It happens to everybody. So if you're LeBron, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo, Anthony Davis, you know, if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, listen, man, I'm getting rid of everybody this offseason except LeBron. You got to keep LeBron and AD together. But if I want to win a championship, I seriously have to consider building a championship contender around Anthony Davis and not LeBron James. And I know that's going to sound like sacrilege, right? It sounds like sacrilege, but nobody remembers the Michael Jordan years with the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? He played 3 seasons with the Wizards, right? Nobody remember that. Y'all remember them ugly Wizards uniforms, the teal blue and the cream and the gold? Nobody remember those the Washington Wizards years from Jordan. Everybody remember Mike with that red and black on, right? But the Wizards didn't win a chip. The Wizards didn't even make the Eastern Conference Finals with Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So if you're the Lakers, bro, you got to seriously consider having to talk with LeBron. Like, bro, what would your second option be for a team to retire with? Because as long as you got LeBron making top money, you're not going to be able to bring in another star, right? And do you want to hold on to LeBron till the very end just to say that LeBron played for your team or LeBron retired as a Laker? If that's your case, the Lakers will do that. They did that with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson played way past his prime. They did that with Kareem. Kareem played way past his prime. They did it with Kobe. Kobe played way past his prime. So they may do it with LeBron, right? But here's the thing. At what cost to your franchise? Like, what type of cost are you willing to take? Because as long as you paying LeBron, you can't pay nobody else, right? And so if you do that, are you really willing to waste Anthony Davis's short prime coming up? Because by the time this is over, Anthony Davis is going to be 32 years old. Do you want an old LeBron and an old Anthony Davis on your roster? Now, do you think you can build around? Do you think you could build a team around them? I'm here to tell you no, because you gave away all your resources, and ain't nobody gonna give you resources for Russell Westbrook because he ain't worth it. So how do you build? How do you build around LeBron and AD? I think if you're the Lakers, I think you have to trade one or both of them players. and smash the reset button. And you know, I know this is going to sound crazy, but if I'm the Lakers, I'm having to talk with LeBron. Like, hey man, you sure you don't want to go back to Cleveland? You know, or you know what I'm saying, maybe we can get, you know what I'm saying, a nice send off for you, man. We you know, appreciate you winning us a chip.
Wow. See, you saying in order to build a championship in with the Lakers, one of the two has to go.
Honestly, I think both have to go, but at the same time, you know, I think you should start with Westbrook first, right? You got it. Westbrook is past his prime. Westbrook is washed, right?
So we have a super chat from Jeremy Maynard. Give thanks for the contribution, my brother. Let's slowly, methodically, and organically build. Let's develop our own stars. RJ, just the first one. Okay, I agree. I agree. AD.
Yes, sir.
Are the Lakers in trouble?
Hey,
They're
real quick, fellas,
trouble.
before AD get going, I just want to say appreciate it. I gotta roll on out, but I just had to stick my head through the door. Shout out to you fellas. I appreciate it. I'll be listening to you on the background till I get everything started off. Hey, big ups, NBA 101. Shout out Freezy. Shout out Blorange Tears family. Shout out chat. Hit that like button. Hit the share. Come on back.
Bim.
Him. So AD, are the Lakers in trouble?
They're past trouble. And to piggyback on to what Freezy was saying, they're old, right? They're very old, and in order to appease LeBron, any team, he likes veterans. He doesn't like young players, right? Maybe you'll have one here, one there. He likes a team of veterans, but you listen to him with this Westbrook situation when, from what I was hearing from Woj, they had a deal on the table for Buddy Hield, which is what he needed. He needed another shooter. He needed that type of player to offset what he does, because any team that LeBron is on, LeBron is the point guard.
Yep. Yep.
Okay? You having a team where you have to bring on, or you chose to bring on Westbrook when you already had playoff Rondo, and then you signed none. It just didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't make any sense.
And then you brought in all of these older guys. You know, Rondo is not. I mean, Westbrook is not walking out of $47 million guaranteed next year. He's not doing that.
No, he ain't walking off on that.
He's not going anywhere. So to piggyback on Freezy's point, where do you want to go, LeBron? Where do you want to go, AD? You know, we have nothing else to be able to restock this cabinet with. You're the only two pieces that we have. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Where's gonna make the most sense? LeBron isn't retired until his son comes to the league and he plays father-son with him at least 1 year. He isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's not retired.
They want to be the Griffies. They want to be the Griffies.
Yeah. They want to be the Griffies. You know, he's waiting around. You know, his numbers look nice, but is he past his prime? Better believe he is.
Better believe he is.
Better believe he is. Is AD an old 29, 30? You better believe he is.
Because he a big. Bigs and guards don't age the same way.
Yeah, and he brittle.
Yep.
And he's a brittle big.
Yep.
So if you're the Lakers, you know, you definitely, if by some chance miracle you win it this year, you have to be looking at, you know, breaking this up. They're talking about firing Vogel. What do you want Vogel to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, yo, what do you want? What do you want this man to do? This man is not the coach of the team. It's LeBron.
It's LeBron.
LeBron brought these pieces in here. What do you want Vogel to what do you really want Vogel to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So trouble, they're past trouble. They should be looking to break this up. No question about it. No question about it.
Rob, do you see LeBron taking his team to at least the Western Conference Finals?
This is what I see with this team. The Lakers done this before. They had Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Steve Nash.
Yep.
And everybody was past their prime.
Yep.
They just redid it again with LeBron. But the thing about LeBron is this here. He can opt out at the end of the year as a free agent. He always get a 2-year deal, opt out.
Yeah.
So he's going to look for his next best situation. He never leaves his life in ownership's hands.
No, he shouldn't. And he shouldn't.
Yeah.
When the player has the power to do so, will the hammer. Because the owners will do it to you. Trust
So,
me.
you know, LeBron already looking for his next best deal. He's seen that Westbrook was a mistake. You know, that you can get that right. Oh, it's impossible. And Houston would be a fool to take Westbrook and give up Wall.
Right.
You know, what are they gaining? They still in the same situation. Why do the Lakers a favor? What else you give them? Unless
and didn't Westbrook bust in Houston already?
You said what?
Wasn't Westbrook a bust in Houston already?
Yeah, I think they went to the conference finals, and I think
they got knocked out before the conference finals.
Hurt their feelings.
They got knocked out before the conference finals.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that was with Harden. You want
right? It was with Harden. I'm not sure if it was the second round of the conference finals.
No, it was the second round. But look, that was the whole thing about it. You already played your card there, you know, and then it goes back to you couldn't blame. Now everybody's saying what Durant seen a long time ago. Look, you can't win with this guy.
No.
You played with Durant. You played with LeBron. J.R. Smith played with LeBron and got a ring.
Yeah.
This guy, look, this guy is just on his own shelf. You know what I'm saying? He think it's top shelf, but you can find him at the bottom of the liquor store. You know, really, it's just like, you know, with him, what the Lakers should do, you go through, you fight through the playoffs, because they're going to still be dangerous in the playoffs. Nobody want to see him. If you got LeBron in the 7-game series, you got problems.
You got problems, right?
You got problems. So
especially if his cost step up.
Exactly. So now this guy done went from a starting lineup to obviously probably won't happen, that they thinking about benching you. You make $47 million and they're thinking about benching you.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're low IQ, and it's always, to me, with Westbrook, it's always been all about him.
Yeah.
You know, he's the ultimate all about me players. He lose the game, and then he's the one putting those clothes in the locker room, and he's telling his friends, well, but I dropped 40. That's his attitude, always been.
Yeah.
So the Lakers, what they need to do, because LeBron going to be out of there. He may go team up with Chris Paul after the playoffs. Who knows? Take a little small deal, but I agree with AD that he's going to hang around for his son.
Yeah.
And there's going to always be a team that's going to want ready to rock with him.
Yep.
Hopefully, hopefully it's not us.
Hopefully it's not us. Thank you.
Not us.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Rob. Hopefully it's not us.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look, let him rock out the nostalgia trial. And this man is 37. He's still getting his numbers, but the impact is not the same.
Right.
LeBron get this with the defense. They not sending all defenders at LeBron no more. Nope. He gonna get his 28 the way he's not the 27-year LeBron where you got to see 3 defenders.
Right.
We're gonna play one and we're gonna still play smart. Right. So the Lakers gonna struggle. Now AD, off and injured. You know, you got a Porsche in the garage, you can't drive it. Engine blown.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You throw them in the playoffs, and then you got, 17 games, 20 games to get to a title. That's when the Lakers going to be dangerous. But
So Rob,
they
let me
might
ask
not-
you this. Let me ask
they
you this.
might not even get in.
So real quick, Golden State or Lakers 7-game series, first round, who wins?
Golden State. Come
Golden
on.
State. It don't go 7.
It don't go
80.
7. It don't go 5.
What's it going? 7 games.
6 at the most. I'm
6
saying
to most for you?
4-1.
6 at the most.
Six at most.
6 at the most, but that's a 5-gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
a
5-gamer.
5-gamer. That's
right, AD. You right.
Yeah.
about that.
Okay.
And they go 5 because LeBron had 2 historic games.
Yeah.
And then he can't reproduce that game the next time.
Right.
can't reproduce that game the next time, and that's one I wouldn't be surprised if they got swept.
Mm-hmm.
It's one
That
of those
would be
I wouldn't be surprised they got swept at all because defensively they're horrible.
Yes, they are.
They're defensively they're very, very bad. Like this, and I'm gonna give let me just chime in here a second now because I really want to give LeBron this smoke. You're gonna parachute out of a team of an airplane that you built. This is your ship. This is your plane. You know what I'm saying? All these guys are here because for them to make a move, they're not making a move without you certifying that this is what you want them to do.
Yeah.
You see, what do you do with a Westbrook? There's nothing you can do with him. He's going to be here next year. You see what I'm saying? Like
nobody taking that trade.
Who's going to take that? If I was him when they came to me, he had a nice thing going in Washington. He had a nice thing going there.
But you didn't make the playoffs. Washington is a whole lot better without you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Washington was licking their fingers like, oh, y'all gonna take him? We'll take anything. We'll take some people from your G League team to get him off the team. You didn't make the playoffs with this man.
Yeah. He's the kind of ball player you want your ball players to play as hard as he does. No question. His entire career, he has always played hard. But
it's based on effort.
Yeah, but he's always gone like psycho hard. Like you can't play that kind of way. I remember when I saw him in the playoffs one year take 44 shots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way in the playoff in the locker room when this game is over, I'm not punching you in the head.
Yeah. Right. Hey, AD, you know what this reminds you of? You know what this reminds you of? It reminds you of Lawrence Taylor's last 2 years with the Giants.
Yeah.
You remember the bounce back year? You remember the bounce back year he won league MVP or defensive player of the year? And then the year after, you thought you was gonna get the same thing? And it was like
they gave him that new contract, and next thing you know, you see him in San Francisco crying on his helmet.
Yes, because even he knew that he was not the same player, right? You like LT when you was 25, we could allow you to do that stuff, but now that you're 34, bro, you can't do those things no more, bro. Well, you gotta play disciplined football, LT. LT don't know disciplined football. LT know LT.
Organization, you can't be the last to know.
Yeah, right. Yep.
The player's supposed to be the last to know. His wife is supposed to be the last to know. You as his agent is supposed to be the last to know, because they're invested in this machine. Because as long as he's getting a new check, everything is fine.
Everything is
fine.
As
the organization, you cannot be the last to know that it's over. That's why you have the best game footage. Like, did you see him miss that wide open tackle?
Yeah, you're right. Right. And matter of fact, I'll give you another example. of some players when they're great, they don't know when it's over until it's over.
Right.
And this is where Westbrook is at, right? Y'all remember a running back named Earl Christian Campbell?
Absolutely.
The Tyler Rose. OG, you remember when he finished his career when I think he finished his career with the Saints, I think it might have been, right? He broke off a Stephadon, and this is so funny, right? So he had been struggling, right? He was like, man, the offensive line is a work in progress, right? This is what he'd been saying in the press. You know, the running game, you got to get the running game going. And so they'll bring in the young running back, and the young running back have 12 carries for 90 yards, right? And then Earl Campbell will have 12 carries for 25 yards, right? And so what happened is Earl Campbell broke a long touchdown run, except it wasn't, right? He broke a long run. It was supposed to be a touchdown, and he was so fat and so out of shape that the defense laughed. They laughed and ran him down because the dude couldn't make it to the end zone. Any average running back would have scored that touchdown, and there would have been nothing to it. Earl Campbell got about 10 yards away from the goal line and looked for defenders to take him down soft. And that's when Earl Campbell knew that his time was up. When you can't just simply run and score a touchdown, when the youth and exuberance of a game can't even come out, then you washed, bro.
It's over with.
You know what I'm saying? And so when we watched Russell Westbrook the other day shoot a jumper that hit the top of the backboard,
That was an embarrassment.
yeah, man. It's not an embarrassment of youth. That's an embarrassment of age. It just happens.
What's an embarrassment is his press conferences, his takes on his team, his takes on where he sees himself on the team. I'm like, my guy, if I was them, I wouldn't ask you any more questions.
Right.
Seriously, because you're embarrassing yourself. You obviously are not watching the game when you go home. You're not, you don't have it on rewind. Like, dude, you are probably the most athletic player at your position in the history of the game. Okay? You've done something that no one is probably ever going to do again, because if for nothing else, it takes effort to get rebounds, right? Takes effort, takes maniac effort sometimes to go out there and to throw your body in there to get rebounds. Besides that,
consistently, every night.
Consistently. Besides that, give me a heady player versus an athletic. Give me Joker all day over a guy like this.
Please.
I don't need that. I don't need the dunker. I don't need the speed guy. I don't need none of that. I need the guy who knows how to play the game, who sees the game. He doesn't seize the game. And when they have him in these press conferences, I'm like, my guy, like, you're not doing yourself any favors with how you answering these questions, like everybody else is wrong and you're totally correct. It's just not that way for you, Russell. Right. Something has got, you're at the end of your game. If you can't play with LeBron, okay, knowing that LeBron was going to be injured at some point of the season now because he's 37, if you can't be that guy, and when he's here to make the extra pass, when are you ever going to be that guy?
Facts.
Right. And also, AD, also, just real quick, you also have to be aware, be careful of the aging superstar that's coming home at the end of his career. Right. Like the dudes, like for instance, Russell Westbrook is from the LA area, right? When cats get into their mid-30s, you gotta be careful, bro, about the homecoming, because he's signaling that he's at the end of his career, and these games ain't gonna be as important as they were at the big. Because when you're 19, you'll go play on the moon for $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you're 35, you're like, man, the moon is a long way away, man. And they want me to do such a man. I think I'm you know, like you know. So it's one of them things. Just be careful, bro. I think that the Westbrook thing, the Westbrook thing is at an end, and it's too bad somebody got to suffer through these last 2 years of it.
Stupid. It was a stupid experiment. I don't
Yeah.
know what LeBron was thinking. It just made no sense.
But
Like,
you
Hey,
know,
look, a GM doesn't make
that's
all the right calls.
that's
That
just
was the worst
latest
call.
for you.
Right.
That was the worst
Right.
call for LeBron. But
Yeah,
he's
that-
been
that-
like
that-
pretty much undefeated when he put that together. He made a bad call. He got one. But look how many
Right.
championships and how many conference how many finals appearances he got with making it. So I'd rather take LeBron versus a GM any day.
oh, no doubt. No,
well,
this one right
Oh
here.
yeah, this one, yeah. Hey, you can't go undefeated now.
No, you're right. But I don't know what he from the outside looking in. I don't know what he saw.
This is
In
what he's seen,
Westbrook.
AD. This is what he's seen. Anybody rocking with me, I can make it work. But you can't make it work at 38. You could have made it work at 26. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you can't,
Well,
you
Rob,
can't make it work at
let's
38.
let's just see where the Lakers gonna go this next set of games. As I said before, they lost lost 4 of the last 5 games, and they're currently at the 7th seed. So hey, 80 is a game time decision tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that. But the next team before is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They at the 8th seed right now. They got Karl Anthony Towns. They went and got his best friend, D'Angelo, and then they just drafted a star, Anthony Edwards, in the 2020 draft. They're currently the 8th seed. Can they be? Do you see that team making a effort to become a playoff team? I wouldn't say a perennial team, but a playoff team, as they are in the 8th seed right now. Can they make the playoffs, and can it be sustainable with Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and D'Angelo? And I'm gonna
Hell
throw
yeah.
that to you, Rob.
Hell yeah. Look, they got what you need. You got a point guard, you got a center, and you got a 2. Everything else, play defense. We gonna get somewhere. They gonna get somewhere. Look, just on the look, D'Lo is not a bad basketball player. He cold. He cold. I'm surprised we let him get away from Brooklyn as a free agent.
Don't get me started, Rob. Don't get me started.
I couldn't look. You know, look, AD, I know you think like, because I think me and you talked about it then. Yo,
Yep.
that don't happen. You
Nope.
let him go all the way across. He didn't even have to switch condos, apartments,
Nope.
sky penthouse, nothing.
Nothing.
All you look, and we had the money.
Yep.
And
And
I
you
know he
needed, and
would've
you needed him, and you needed him badly. And
Hey,
instead
look,
of
they
you
didn't
turning to pivot, you
They
turn and
didn't even-
pivot and get
Hey,
5
look.
power forwards.
Hey, look at here. They didn't even talk to him. They went and got 5 power forwards.
Never spoke to him.
Hey, look at here. Guess what? If you would have got him, I guarantee Knox would still be on the team. I
You'd have-
guarantee it.
You would have never had this Randall problem. Why?
You would've
'Cause
never.
You'd have never had this Randall problem because you'd have had a point guard.
That's right. You wouldn't be talking about Talibert. You wouldn't be talking about nothing if Steve Mills would have just say, yo, nah, we want him. What you want? You let him go to Golden State because Durant said it's going to cost a pick. Nah, you put an extra 5 on that money that D'Angelo, I know his West Coast thing with the locker room and all of that, but he proven to be an all-star that they was willing to let go.
Yep.
And we ain't do nothing about it. I bet you
Nope.
this here. if that thing can go all over again, I bet you this Knicks regime would not have let that happen. They wouldn't have let that happen. Rose would not have let that happen.
He was right there, right in your backyard.
You didn't even have to move.
You didn't have to move. He just had an all-star appearance.
But this is about Minnesota. It's about Minnesota, not about the Knicks, though, right?
Hey, Freezy.
Stafford, that's what you said?
No, but he wound up in Minnesota.
Right, but this point was about the Timberwolves, not about the Knicks, though.
No,
I feel you. Stafford Don asked the question: with this roster that the Timberwolves have, can the Timberwolves make the playoffs? And I think I aches and pains for the Knicks.
Hey, look at here. Most definitely they can make the playoffs because they also got Coulter. He's on that team. They got like Lowell. They got veterans on that team. And they looking good right now. If anybody, they better than the Lakers right now. Not to say by record, but by team, they better than the Lakers. All they got to do is mentally put it together and know who they are, and then they're gonna move forward. They looking like with that core that they got, they looking like a top 3 seed in the future.
In the future, yeah.
Without doing anything but gelling, chemistry, continuity. They looking like a top 3 seed, and then maybe past that, because that team is looking more like they can be in the fight. When Chris Paul is gone from Phoenix after he's done everything that he can do for them, with the what I would say, the age group of Phoenix is going to be a problem for a minute. In the West. Now we're finally seeing the turnaround from the East to the West, from the West to the East. The East got more better teams than the West. That's a 20-year swing, 25-year swing. And it started in the Michael Jordan era when all the picks was always going to the West. Right. But what messed up the West at that time was high school players. Everybody drafted on potential, and potential didn't work. Now we're going back in that at 23, and everybody is gassed with that, not me. I'd rather deal with somebody in college versus somebody from high school because it's a mind thing. You can have all the floor, the ceiling in the world, but you coming from a broken environment, you're seeing $1 million checks, and that will weigh down on you if veterans are not around. So
yes,
right.
Kill those high school. Now, not kill a high school players, literally, no pun intended. But forget that.
So
that's
So Stafford Don, you was talking about the Timberwolves, right?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
No. They straight. I'm done.
So AD, where do you see the Timberwolves? Do they make the playoffs with this roster?
I think they can make the playoffs, this roster, but it's not about this year.
Does it sustainable for the next few years?
It's sustainable as long as you got to get Karl Anthony Towns on board with your future plans. You got to show him, this offseason coming up is very important for you as an organization because you have to, and it's not about getting any more young guys. They now need some veterans to help support what they have in their young nucleus. You see what I'm saying? Like just like how Milwaukee was able to get my man from Houston, put him with Freak for that 1 year, it helped. See what I'm saying? He wasn't. His name is skipping me right now, but you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of a tenacious, role player. You need that kind of thing because Minnesota is not only for people who live out there in the great cold West. Is it appealing to? that's a state that has an underground city. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not appealing to people normally because it's too cold. So you got to be able to galvanize what you can galvanize in this coming up off season. Like, okay, we can really do something here if we make the right decisions, going forward. But gentlemen, I got to jump off. Thank you, Stafford, for letting me jump on the platform with you guys. You know what I'm saying? I always love talking with you dudes. You know what I'm saying? Rob, Unc Freezy. I had to serve Freezy his lunch earlier today, but I do that. I do that all the time anyway.
Before you go, and I wanted to get your opinion before you go. Kobe's 81 last year, yesterday, was the I believe his I had it. The anniversary of his 81 points. Just give me a quick synopsis of what you think about that 81 points at that time. Where were you? How you felt? What was your emotions?
Rest in peace again to the God. You know what I mean? Because he was just something special to watch night in, night out for young players. Coming into in any profession, in any sport, any profession that you choose, you go in and you give it your best. And that season, it wasn't just about the 81, but that season, he had one of those just Wilt-like seasons when scoring the basketball. But to your question, the night that he dropped the 81 on Toronto, I believe it was Toronto, right? He was just in fuego. He was just hotter than hot. You know what I'm saying? It was lava time.
Right.
It was lava time, and you just couldn't stop him. And it wasn't all threes. See what I'm saying? If somebody would think, well, as much as they shoot threes today, that maybe that record is in jeopardy. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think so.
So hold on, real quick, AB. It was 28 for 46 from the field goal, 7 of 13 3-points from the 3-point line, and 18 of 20 from the free throw line.
There you go. He only hit 7 threes. There you go. See what I'm saying? It's to get that hot, and for the coach to, because remember, as hot as he was, they were playing for they needed all 81 of his points. They needed that. Generally, when you score that many points, like when Clay dropped his 60 and on some ridiculous little amount of baskets, and he only took like maybe 1 or 2 dribbles, he just kept like firing and hitting. Generally, they take you out of the game because the game is over. That LA team needed everything that he had that game, that season. So it's a feat. I don't want to say, you can never break it, because we saw Booker drop 70 or 71 a couple of years ago. But, it's going to take a special performance to get to that 81, So that's my thoughts on it. But rest in peace to the God. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the 10 best basketball players I've ever seen. So that's my thoughts on it. But gentlemen, I gotta jump off.
Definitely. Hey, get up with me, man, cause I need to holler at you about something else. All right?
Absolutely. Freezy got my math. You know what I'm saying? So just you can get it from Freeze, no problem. Rob.
Definitely. So let me just go over the injury report today. There's certain players that's out today. We have Lonzo Ball. He's out with a meniscus tear, 8 to 6 weeks. Alex Caruso, a wrist injury. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. We know Dame is still out with the abdominal injury. Giannis and Grayson Allen is out versus the Kings tonight. Draymond Green still have a left calf soreness and will not require surgery. And the team that I believe the Knicks played today, the Clippers, PG is still out with a torn ligament in his elbow. So that's the injury report that we have today. I want you to press that like button, smash that like button. Let us know what you think about the show. Put your comments in the comment section. Go to the Blorange Tears channel to become a member. All right, we love for you to become a member of the Blorange family channel. You get special perks, special videos before anybody else. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, press that notification bell. Also, we have other shows on the channel like the Knicks Morning Drive with Uncle Freezy. Then you have the Knicks Freestyle. Then you have the Pod Couple with G-Man and Shazam, as he likes to call himself, Cornerstone Kev. Then you have with Cully, Knicks After Party, right? And then you got the brand new show with Live with Beans. Okay, shout out to Beans, right? And then you got Old School Knicks with AD, as you could just see, and Uncle Freezy that comes on Sunday mornings at 11. And you have the NBA one-on-one with your boy Staffadan and Soul Finger. All right. I would just like to thank everybody for coming through. And so let me shout out the chat. Shout out Kaiser Sose. Shout out Show and M. Shout out to Canal Law. Shout out to D Russ. Shout out to Flatbush Dre. Shout out to Brick Nation. Quiet Money, I see you. Karen Fung. Still Nick fans, I see you, Ron. Lewis Hedges, I see you. Who else is in here? Who else is in here? Baga Jones, big up yourself. Jeremy Maynard, big up yourself. And everybody else that's watching, I want you to thank you. Miss Geraldine, blessings, man, blessings. Ashley Inc. 1, blessings to you, blessings to you. Frederick, blessings to you. Long Island Sound 1, blessings to you. Pudge Nice, respect as always, respect as always.
Hey, look, tell Sound 1, he said that Reggie Jackson was going to have 40. Speak on that.
C-Mac, big up yourself, bro. Big up yourself. Oh man, boy, Reggie Jackson didn't say a word today. I mean, he had a good game. He had a good game, but you know, the Knicks, we pulled it out. That was a good win today. Salute to our Knicks. We got Cleveland tomorrow. Hopefully we could go down to Cleveland and get that win. And tune in tomorrow, Queens Court. Your boy Staffadan will be on Queens Court tomorrow at 6 p.m. Shout out to Queen Steph. Looking forward to being on a show tomorrow. And that's about it. Rob, before we go, you got anything else to say, man?
Yeah. Blood in the garden floor. And look, on the back end, there's a body. A body on the floor. Look at that. A body. Buy the
I
book.
hear that.
Read
So
the book.
support the guy Chris Herring. Go out, get his book, read the book. Sometime I'm gonna get Rob back on the show and he's gonna talk about the book and we're gonna go through the book. Is that possible, Rob?
No doubt. It's going to be done. Look, I'm reading. The book will be done as soon as I get to it. I'm going to go straight through it. No TV, no nothing.
Definitely. So thanks for y'all guys for tuning in. Remember, smash that like button, press the notification bell, subscribe. NBA 101, and we're out. Shout out to Soulfinger. Yes, sir.